Hey guys, I want to say welcome back, but in reality it's like I'm coming back because I haven't been here for a while. So I just want to thank you guys for being patient, and I'm sorry that I haven't been able to post any videos since my last. I've been super busy with work and other things, getting ready to get out of the Navy, so my time has been consumed otherwise. I just want to share with you guys a project that I have in mind that I think I'm going to start working on today. I was over here doing the dishes, and I opened up this cupboard and just thought I had way too many coffee cups up here, and I wanted to do something with it because it takes up one whole shelf. Yes, I drink a lot of coffee and tea, so I use it a lot. And then I was coming over here to my coffee mess over here, and I noticed this blank wall here with nothing on it, and I want to fill this wall with something. And if I could fill this wall with something to hang coffee cups, then that would kill two birds with one stone. So I got to thinking, me and my wife have had this recycled pallet for a while, and we haven't figured out what we wanted to do with it. I'll go show you guys outside. So here's the pallet. It's a pretty small pallet. It's not like the standard size pallet. I think it's it looks like it's about 2 feet by 3 or 4 feet. I think it's 2 by 3. So I figured, you know, if I could sand this bad boy down, throw some stain on it, make it a little dark, and then put some of these hooks in it, if you can see that. This is screw-in hooks. Then I could have a place to hang my coffee cups, and I could hang that right on the wall, and I think it'll look pretty cool. So let me show you guys all the materials that I have, so you guys know what I'm using. Obviously the palette. I got a sponge for the staining. I got several of these hooks. Doesn't matter how many put on there. I think I'm gonna put 9. Space it out. The wood stain, a sander, also a stud finder for whenever I hang it on the wall, and some pliers to kind of help me twist these hooks in the board. So without further ado, let's get started so I can actually cook some dinner tonight. Alright guys, once you get done with the sanding, you're just going to wipe down the wood with a damp rag just to get all of the rest of the sawdust off and stuff before you go to stain it. You don't want any of this stuff on here. Alright guys, once you're done wiping down the board and you're ready to stain, go ahead and grab a sponge or a rag or a brush. I like to use a sponge. And grab your wood stainer. I'm using Special Walnut. The floors in my living room and dining room are kind of dark, so I want this to kind of be an accent color, not as dark, just a little bit lighter than what our floors are. So going with Special Walnut 224, but of course every house is different, and so just go with the stain that you think would fit your house best. Alright, let's get to staining. Also, it's a good idea to wear gloves. I forgot to get my gloves, and I'm too lazy to go back and get them, so I'll just have to wash my hands afterwards. But alright guys, now that we are done with staining, just one coat, I'm going to go ahead and start putting the hooks in, because it doesn't really matter if you put the hooks in while it's still drying. You might have to use some pliers and pull the hook out a little bit, kind of bend it out, because a coffee cup has a pretty big handle. You want to be able to fit in between the wood block and the hook. So just pull it out just a little bit, but still enough to hold on to that coffee cup. Alright, first hook in. Now let's get the rest in. Alright guys, I have all the hooks in now. Now I'm just waiting on the stain to dry, which should take probably another couple hours. During that time, I think I'm gonna go inside, cook some dinner for me and my wife, and kind of relax. By the time this dries, I'll bring it inside and we'll hang it up. Alright guys, so it's day 2. I went ahead and just kind of waited a little bit longer yesterday for the stain to dry, and I just wanted to eat dinner with my wife and watch some TV with her and relax. So just got back from work, went downstairs to grab the pallet. It's done drying. So now what we have to do is figure out where we're gonna hang it. So we know we're gonna hang it on this wall, but it's important that we line it up straight, and we definitely wanna find the studs to screw in the screws. That way they can be as sturdy as possible, since we're gonna be holding a bunch of coffee cups and we don't want those to drop and break. So the tools that I'm gonna be using for this part of the project are a stud finder. This one's pretty cheap. I got it for like 20 bucks at Home Depot. All you do is you hold it down on the wall, click this button, wait for it to beep, and then move it and keep moving it until you find a red spot right there. So that means there's a stud right there. Check it a couple times to be accurate. And then I wanna know where the start of the stud is and where the end of the stud is. That way I can drill right in the middle of it. A little leveler. You don't need anything like huge or anything. This will do. Got a tape measure so you can line it up correctly. I have a drill with a drill bit, and I have an impact driver, and then of course some screws. Now I would like to use like a 3-inch screw, but I think the only screws I have right now are these 2-inch ones, which will work. But ideally, you want to put the screw as far into the stud as possible to hold as much as you can. So, but we're gonna roll with these. These will be all right. So this project, you might need a helper. I guess you don't need a helper, but it'll make it a lot easier just when you're lining up stuff on the wall. All right, guys. So I have all my tools ready. We're gonna go ahead and hang this thing. So the first thing we want to do is find the center of this wall so we can line it up correctly. After you've found the center of the wall, what you want to do is find out how high you want to put the pallet. Alright guys, so what I did was I measured, or I put a mark at the very top where my wife said she wanted it. And because we're going to be placing the screws at the bottom of this board, I went ahead and measured this. This is 3.5 inches. And then I made a mark 3.5 inches below where I lined this up at the top. I made the mark on the wall from the top piece because I couldn't get underneath. So I went ahead and measured 3.5 inches, then made a mark 3.5 inches below the first mark that I made. That way I know exactly where I'm going to be hanging my screws. So after you know how high you want it to be and where in the center it's going to be, then you are going to mark out your studs, which I've already done. And from there, you're gonna figure out where you're gonna hang you need at least 2 screws holding this thing up at an angle, but preferably 3 if you can fit it. To make sure that you're definitely drilling through a stud, once you drill through and pull it out, you should see some wood inside your drill bit. If all you see is drywall, then you definitely didn't hit a stud. So just make sure you see wood coming through your drill bit. Okay, so unfortunately, I was only able to put 1 screw in a stud. My pallet's a little too small, so it won't reach the other 2 on either side. So what we're gonna have to do is use these screw anchors, the drywall anchors that I have. And what you need to do when you're using these things is pick out the right size, because it honestly matters when it comes to weight distribution. You don't want to pick one that's too big, and if you pick one that's too small, then you're just going to end up tearing right through it whenever you drive your screw in there. So you want to pick out the right size for the screw that you're using, and I'll show you guys how to put these in if you don't know already. So I picked out the size I need. Now all I got to do is drill a small hole into the wall, and then lightly just tap this guy in with a hammer. You don't want to drill out too much. You don't want to drill the hole too big, or else this won't hold as strong. You really want to drill a hole about half the diameter of the actual drywall anchor. For this, guys, I'm gonna be using this soft wood hammer that I have, just so I don't like bend the anchor as I'm hammering it in. You want it to be flush against the wall. You don't want anything sticking out, so you want to try to get it as far in there as you can. Alright, now we can go ahead and screw our screws in. Again, you want to screw it in at kind of a slight angle, that way it's holding the pallet up, so there's no risk of it sliding off. And my pallet is about 3/4 inch. The wood on the back is, so I want to leave about 3/4 inch off. It's a good thing that my center screw is the one that's in the stud, because that'll be like my main anchor for this thing. So as long as the center one holds up good, there's not going to be a lot of weight on the other two. These are more so going to be like balancing, but the center one is going to bear pretty much all of the weight. Should be level. We'll put the pallet up. Alright guys, so this is it. We got the coffee cups up, and now I have more space in my drawer. Another thing, like I might think about doing in the future, maybe if my wife likes the idea, is just put up some maybe 1 or 2 rustic lights up here or something. If we end up putting anything down below, I think that would make it look real cool. But other than that, that's it. It's a pretty simple project. I mean, all in all, you know, if I wouldn't have waited till the next day, it really should only take about 2 hours. And that's just letting the stain dry. So if you got an old pallet and you don't know what to do with it, and you've got a lot of coffee cups, well, here's a good idea. Alright guys, well that concludes our project. A really fun and easy project, so if you guys just have a pallet laying around and you don't know what to do with it, here's an idea for you. I hope you like this. Please feel free to like my video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks again. Bye.